So, Stephen D here from Pure 24/7 Radio, The Rock Show. I am joined by a very special guest to talk about their band Meet Your Maker. So, hi Dylan.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Excellent. Very glad to have you and talk a bit about your band. So, in the first instance, would you mind telling the listeners what your involvement in the band is?
Yeah, so as we said, my name is Dylan. I'm the guitarist in Meet Maker. I'm also the sort of main songwriter and producer of the band. So a lot of the production work for our upcoming album and stuff has all been done by me. So yeah, a lot of
Excellent.
day-to-day stuff that I do, but yeah.
Excellent. So how did you get into music? Let's talk about that.
Oh wow. Uh, I've been into music as long as I can remember. I've There's like photos of me as a very young, like toddler holding like plastic guitars, and my parents will tell me stories of like me just like bopping along to different things when I was a kid. And I think when I was 5, I was obsessed with like the band Delirious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was like the earliest memory of me being like, yeah, I like this music or whatever. And yeah, it just kind of went on from there. And I was begging my parents to let me play guitar from a young age. And so yeah, I started playing when I was 8, and it's just yeah, I'm 24 now, so
Wow.
it's been a long time. But yeah, I've just always really just been obsessed with music and landed it
Excellent.
on heavy metal somehow.
Landed on heavy metal, yes. So you talk
Yeah,
about Delirious. That's very much rock music.
yeah,
I know I like the band Delirious. My favorite
yeah, yeah.
album would be Kingdom of Comfort, which I think they released in about 2008. I really
Sure.
like that album. I remember listening to it in the car with my family. It's a really good album, and I certainly have
Yeah,
played some of the songs on the
yeah,
rock show. So that's how you got into music. You from a very early age, 16
yeah,
years playing guitar. Just took me
yeah.
a while to do the numbers there, but yeah. So you've been playing guitar for a while, and how did you get into this band? How did this band start?
The band started in 2020. Matt, our singer, has had like a sort of vision for Meet Your Maker for a long time. I think he said that he sort of thought of the name for the band at a conference he was at like 10 plus years ago, and just sort of kept it in the back of his mind. And then eventually he started it up in 2020, and we released a song, but I wasn't in the band then. I didn't join until about 2022, I think, summer 2022. Um, Basically Matt had found me on Instagram, and I'd put up like a little video of me playing guitar, and I'd like produced it and stuff. And he sent me a DM and was like, "Oh, do you want to like join my Christian metal band?" And I was like, "No, I'm good, thanks." Because I was just finishing up my uni degree, and I was just had a lot going on. So he kind of kept bugging me, and eventually I was like, well, let me just like finish my degree and I'll get back to you. And then yeah, that summer I was like, yeah, let's do it. So
Excellent.
it's been full on since then, really. But yeah,
Yeah, so I've been listening to a few of the songs earlier on, very much heavy metal, very much
yeah,
my style of music. Really enjoy listening to it.
great.
What sort of like music influences might have brought, you and, the band to bring, what would it be like similar to?
Got yeah, that's a tricky one because we all of us have a lot of influences, and
Mm,
all of us bring a lot of our own preferences that are very different to the table, quite a lot. So I think me and Matt sort of go for like we're really into the sort of new metalcore type sound. We're like I think I'd say probably the band Alpha Wolf are one of our biggest influences in terms of sound. Um, but also Matt's like super into hardcore, and he's always like trying to get me to do the hardcore thing, and I'm like, I don't know, like so there's a few things that we sometimes sneak in like a little hardcore trick. Or our bassist Dave is like really still really like his favorite ever band, Under Oath. And so he's always like telling me to listen to Under Oath, and I'm like, I don't really want to. But like, so yeah, but we're like probably like Alpha Wolf, I'm trying to think of the band like Kubla Khan, Knocked Loose, but then also like definitely like metalcore, like Architects, Spirit Box,
Mhm.
stuff like that. Yeah, so kind of a mesh of those two sort of things, I guess.
Okay, quite a
Um,
few influences.
yeah,
What about sort of bands that you've been listening to growing up? You mentioned Delirious. Are there any others you can think of?
that influenced me in terms of Meet
Yeah,
Your Maker, or
yeah, definitely. Well, generally
yeah.
speaking, yeah.
Um, it's kind of interesting. I got into metal a bit of a weird way. I sort of found like progressive metal and like gent first, and then got into the like more commercial stuff from there, which is I think the backwards way. So I got into metal on bands like Periphery and Tesseract and um Animals as Leaders and stuff. So sometimes I and that's not Meet Your Maker at all. Um, so sometimes find myself trying to do something that's a bit too long, too along those lines, and I have to sort of rein it in a bit. But yeah, I think a band that when I first got into metal that I really liked was Korn.
Hmm.
And their like new metal for us is like a big influence. We love all the like the sort of hip hop, like groove based influence that new metal brought to metal as a genre.
Hmm.
And I think it's definitely like you can see it emerging a lot in the sort of modern metal stuff, and it's kind of a sound that we're really into. So um, yeah, Korn, and especially like with Brian Headwelch's like whole faith journey and everything, it influenced me a lot as a teenager. Um, so I'd say yeah, probably Korn.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. You mentioned earlier the band name, Meet Your Maker. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that and what that means?
Um, I mean, yeah, this is really a Matt story, but I think, I mean, firstly, it's like a cool name. I think it's like it certainly makes a statement. But secondly, I mean, we're a Christian metal band, and so we um we sort of are in environments a lot of the time where we're the only Christians in the room. Um, like at gigs and stuff, we mainly play with secular bands with a lot of secular people in the room, and so I sort of like to think of it as like the introduction to what we are. Um, we want people to go to like a cool gig and see cool bands, and then we come on, and they still think we're a cool band, but then also think there's like something more to us. And so I think with Meet Your Maker, it's like, well, here's some cool music that we all like, but also here's God, your maker. Um,
Yeah.
and we want to package it in sort of a really relatable way for these people because the people in the metal community, a lot of them are really like hurting and damaged and um, have gone through a lot, and we want to be there for those people as well. So um, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's really
yeah.
powerful, isn't it? How when you're the only Christians in that room, that's being salt and light. That's really, really powerful thing. I love that about metal music. How
Mm,
more than any other genre, there seems to be a lot of Christian bands that people don't realize are Christian. They don't
mm,
realize the lyrics are really powerful, straight out of the Bible sometimes. I love
mm.
that about this particular genre of music. You can do an awful lot of good with it, and I'm really glad to hear of Meet Your Maker, which is a new band to me. I was listening to the songs, very much enjoying them. Powerful, powerful lyrics,
Thank you.
and very. There's something that only metal music can bring in terms of passion, isn't there? And I
Yeah,
love that. That's brilliant.
yeah.
So we talked about how you got into music. We got talked about the band, how you got the name. And we also talked about how what music has influenced you. So I think that's all the questions that I have. It's really interesting to hear about your band, hearing about all that. But I understand you've got a new song coming out very soon.
Yes, yeah, we do. It's called Cowards. It's going to be released on the 14th of February, so Valentine's Day. Um, yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's a song that I was scrolling through my Instagram the other day, and it's almost 2 years old now. Or when I started writing, it was 2 years ago. So
Wow.
it's been on the computer for a long time. So I'm excited to get it out into the world. But yeah, it's a song just all about it kind of came from a personal experience of our singer Matt's with dealing with some sort of family issues that he was going through, but we sort of used that and turned it into a song about forgiving people who have wronged you or hurt you, or if you're feeling kind of betrayed by some people, then um, yeah, just forgiving them and moving on. So it's a good one for anyone who's single on Valentine's Day. uh, but yeah, I'm really excited to get out into the world, and we've been playing it at a few of our gigs, and people seem to be enjoying it, and yeah, and I'm really excited about the music video that we're releasing alongside it. We filmed it in St. Martin's Church in Birmingham, which is like a really nice, like big picturesque, like when you think of like a cool Anglican church, it's that. And they let a crazy metal band film a video with a rotating stage and lots of candles and hooded people and daggers, and it's very dramatic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing people's reaction to that.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it on the 14th of February. That sounds very exciting. Always like new music. I always like new music, so that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14th February. So, how can people find out more about your band? How can people find you, follow you, and listen to your music?
Yeah, so we're pretty much on every streaming platform. Spotify probably helps us the best. So if you're on Spotify, then you can definitely check us out. We're just Meet Your Maker. We're on Instagram at Meet Your Maker UK, where we announce pretty much everything major going on with us over there. So if you're looking for gig dates, hopefully one day tour dates, new release dates, we'll be checking them up over there. And if you want to find our music videos, we're on YouTube as well. Just Meet Your Maker or Meet Your Maker UK, one of those. And yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Thank you, Dylan.
No worries. Thanks for having me.